2025. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma. On the news this afternoon. Dead body found near Obirikwere Airport Road. Rivers Administrator Presidency react to Pastor Bakare's criticism of Tinubu's policies. Supreme Court to begin hearing of PDP governor's case on Rivers emergency rule. Residents, clerics protest killings in Jos. On the foreign scene, world leaders mourn as Pope Francis dies at 88. I am Ifechukwu Mwanyele with the news. Now, Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, says it is unfortunate that Pastor Tunde Bakare was using this period of Easter to sow discord. Retired Vice Admiral Ibas said this in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Media to the Rivers State Government, Hector Iwikio-Wubo, while reacting to Pastor Bakare's criticism of the state of emergency declared by President Tinubu in Rivers State. He said his administration would not dignify what he described as vituperations from Pastor Bakare, with a response saying such remarks neither added value to the discussion nor helped the peace-building process in Rivers State. The statement said his administration is focused on delivering on his mandate. Now, also, the presidential aide, Daniel Bwala, said Bakare can share his views and praised his message as fair and constructive. Recall that in his Easter message on Sunday, clergyman Tunde Bakare slammed the Tinubu administration and raised concerns about insecurity, economic hardship, and poor leadership. Bakare said the government is turning Nigeria into a mafia state and urged Tinubu to stop playing God.
Because injustice can frustrate any economic agenda. It is time for this government to embrace humility and govern with justice and fairness before it is too late. Those entrusted with power appear determined to destabilize what is left of our political institutions.
Bakare criticized the handling of the Rivers State crisis as well as the Akpabio and Natasha saga, among other national issues. Now, he said Tinubu's administration is veering Nigeria off its course. Moving on, human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has dared the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to report him to the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee for analyzing the Supreme Court judgment on the Rivers State political crisis. In a statement on Sunday, Falana said the FCT minister is trying in vain to incite the Supreme Court against him. The Sun said, contrary to Wike's claim, he did not lie or misrepresent the Supreme Court's decision concerning the defection of 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. He dismissed Wike's claims. Recall that the FCT minister had publicly criticized Falana during a press conference in Abuja, saying that the senior lawyer misrepresented the Supreme Court's ruling on national TV. The Supreme Court says it will hear the suit filed by 11 governors of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, challenging the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State after its Easter vacation. The Director of Information and Public Relations at the Supreme Court, Dr. Festus Akonde, said the matter would be taken up after the court resumes. The suit is challenging the constitutional authority of the president to suspend a democratically elected governor in any state. The governors are also challenging the president's decision to appoint a sole administrator to govern Rivers State. Away from that, an agricultural stakeholder in Rivers State, Charles Okoro, has expressed doubt at the sincerity of the Rivers State administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to revive the Songhai farm in Thai local government area. Recall that during his visit to the Songhai farm on Saturday, the Rivers State administrator promised to revive the farm. Reacting to this, Ms. Okoro told our correspondent that nothing tangible should be expected given the tenure of the administration.
I will look at what is happening as a political script that is being played in the state. Maybe he really want to validate. Maybe other people have come up with a story about Sim's vision. So maybe he wanted to go and validate whether what political scriptwriter said about the place is reality or not. It's not really that there is a tangible impact that we can conclude now until we see action being placed.
Okoro, an agricultural consultant, said the administrator can only renovate the tourism section in the Songhai farm.
Songhai farm cut across all the value chain in agriculture, marketing, primary production, tourism, and all the rest. The only area he can do is maybe within this space is adding value to the tourism center that Amici has already built. There is a place that visitors who can come. Maybe he can renovate the hall, start engaging people to come and do a conference there. Maybe they start getting some IGR through that platform.
Now, reports just coming in say a lifeless body has been found along the Obirikwere axis of the airport road. It is still unclear what led to the man's death. A correspondent at the scene reports that several high-tension cables are lying across the road, with PHED officials already on site. However, the exact cause of death remains unknown at this time. Coming up next, residents, clerics protest killings in Jos. Stay with us. The Senate has postponed its resumption from April 29 to May 6, 2025. According to an internal memo signed by Senate Clerk Andrew Obunawoba, the change is due to the May 1st International Workers' Day holiday and to allow senators time for constituency engagement. And now residents of Jos have taken to the streets to protest the continued killings in part of the Plateau State. The demonstrations led by Christian leaders, including the state chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Polycarp Lubo, commenced this morning at the Favway Junction Community Road, causing a heavy gridlock and stranded commuters. Over 100 people have been reportedly killed in Bokos and Bassa local government areas since the killings started about 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, the National Vice President of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Emma Esong, has joined in asking the federal government to consider community policing and to allow Nigerians carry arms to defend themselves. Bishop Esong said this to correspondent Onyeka while reacting to the killings in Plateau and Benue State. He said the federal government should only regulate the use of arms and not the possession of arms.
And possibly in future, if there can be enough legislation, community policing should be encouraged, and of course Nigerians can be allowed to carry arms. If the person coming against me is carrying arms, what is wrong with me carrying arms? What do you mean by unlawful possession of arms? The person coming is coming with arms. Am I going to come with stick and cutlass and what? Everybody should be armed so that we can only convict people for unlawful use of arms, not for possession of arms.
Away from that, the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has advised 2025 Batch A Stream 1 prospective corps members, PCMs, not to travel at night to their orientation camps for safety reasons. The agency made this known in a series of tweets on its X handle today. It announced that that deployment letters have been released and stressed the importance of printing and signing addendum, the document, which is available on the NYSC dashboard. This document is crucial for camp registration and may be required for verification to avoid service disruptions. Furthermore, it noted that some prospective corps members posted to Lagos will attend orientation in Ogun, Ondo, or Osun camps, while those deployed to Abuja may be assigned to Nasarawa or Kaduna camps. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected back to the country. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga disclosed this in a statement on his X account on Monday, recall that President Tinubu traveled to France on a working visit on the 2nd of April. In other news, banks and public offices will remain closed today as the public holiday declared by the federal government to mark the Easter celebration continues. Also, Galilee Day is being observed today, a Christian tradition marking Jesus' appearance to his disciples after his resurrection. It is a part of the Easter season and reminds believers of hope and new beginnings. In business, the Security and Exchange Commission has warned influencers, bloggers, and celebrities to desist from promoting unregistered investment schemes or risk legal consequences. In entertainment, singer Idris Abdulkarim has launched Tell Your Papa challenge on social media after the federal government banned the song. In sports, 4 Serie A matches in the Italian league scheduled for today have been postponed following the death of Pope Francis.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
The Vatican has announced the death of Pope Francis, aged 88. The Pope, who was the first Latin American leader of the Roman Catholic Church, died at 7:35 local time on Easter Monday. In his tribute, French President Emmanuel Macron described the late Pope as a humble man. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said his heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says Pope Francis inspired millions far beyond the Catholic Church with his humility and love so pure for the less fortunate, while India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he is deeply pained at the passing of Pope Francis.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. A dead body has been found near Ubinikwere Airport Road. Rivers Administrator and the presidency have reacted to Pastor Bakare's criticism of Tinubu's policies. The Supreme Court is to begin hearing of PDP governor's case on Rivers emergency rule after Easter break. Residents and clerics in Jos are protesting the latest killings in parts of the state. On the foreign scene, you heard world leaders have mourned the death of Pope Francis. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Monyele. Many thanks for listening.